Hello, my name is Beth Dixon, and I work in the math lab in the Math and Behavioral Social Science building in room 222, and I'm the math tutor. So if you need help with your math, come and see me. And today I'd like to present a small lesson on adding integers, positive and negative numbers. And here are the two rules for the addition of integers. And I'm not claiming credit for these. One of the things that I like to do is to steal the things that are best from each of the teachers. And so this one I stole from Miss Martin. And the way she puts it is, if the signs are the same, we find their sum. And if the signs are different, we find their difference. So let me highlight that. Same, sum, different, find their difference. Basically, if the signs are the same, then we're going to add the numbers, their sum. Same, sum. Different, difference. Subtract the numbers. In either case, we're going to keep the sign of the stronger number. Now, that's not a mathematical term. That term is a term I use to indicate a mathematical concept that's sometimes a little bit hard to put into words. Actually, it means the one with the larger absolute value. But it's really the number that is larger if we don't consider its sign. But what I mean is the number that's stronger, that's either more negative or more positive, or further away from 0 on the number line. But the one that's got what I like to call more attitude, that's either more negative or more positive about where it's at. And I'll indicate that more attitude as we look at it. So let's look at a number line. And we're going to do a few examples with this number line. Let's look, to start with, on how we represent 3 plus 4 on a number line. There's our 0 in the center. And we're going to go over to positive 3 on the number line. And then we're going to come over and we're going to count from 0 to 3 is 3 units. And then we're going to count over 4 more units. 1, 2, 3, 4 more units. So that's a positive 3 and a positive 4. And we end up at a positive 7 units. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Notice the signs are the same, that the 3 and the 4 are both going in the same direction, so we find their sum. Give me just a second to erase all this out. Now let's look at a different problem. Let's look at negative 3 plus a negative 4. Negative 3 is negative 3 units in this direction. Then we're going to go negative 4 units more in this direction. And we're going to end up at negative 7. Notice they're both going in the same direction. So in this case, we add the numbers 3 plus 4 and get 7, and we're going to keep the sign because in this case, they're both headed in a negative direction. So we're going to keep the sign, and I say keep the sign of the stronger number, but in this case, both numbers have the same attitude. The same stronger number is 4, and it's negative, and it says we're going to be negative, but the 3 agrees, so there's no issue here. They're both going to be negative, so it's a negative 7. Now, that's how the number line sees it. We can also look at both of these problems as money. If I have $3 and somebody gives me $4, I'm going to have $7. If I'm $3 in debt and I spend $4 more, I'm going to be $7 in debt. So both of these show the ideas. If the money or the movement is in the same direction, I'm going to find their sum. I'm going to add the numbers. Okay, let's look at another example. -2 plus a -5. So on a -2, I'm right there, down 2, -2 units. I jump 2 units to the left. Then I'm going to go down 5 more units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where do I end up at? I end up at -7. The signs are the same. Add 5 and 2, I get 7, and I keep the same sign. The same thing could be said if I looked at -6 plus -1. I would go down 6 units, then 1 more, and where would I end up at? -7. And I've shown you and repeated the -7 on purpose here so that you could see what I'm doing. If the signs are the same, I add the numbers and keep the sign. Now, let's look at what happens if the signs are different. Let's look at what happens if I had -3 and a +4. First of all, let's think of it if we had money. If I was $3 in debt and then gained $4, well, I would be $1 to the good, wouldn't I? Well, let's look at what would happen on the number line. First of all, go to the $3 in debt. That would be down $3. So I'd be here at the -3. Then I'm going to go back and move +4. Whoops, went too far. Units. Well, 4 pulls me in a positive direction. Positive directions are always to the right here. Negative directions are always over here to the left. So this is the -3. This is the +4. They're counteracting each other. Do you see how they're pulling in opposite directions? So where do I end up with these two counter movements? And notice it doesn't matter which movement I do first, I would still end up in the same place. I end up at a +1. How did I get that? Well, the signs are in opposite directions. The signs are different, so I find their difference. What's 4 minus 3? The subtraction, 1. Now, who has more attitude? Which one is more positive or more negative? Well, the 4 is more positive. It's the larger number. 4 is larger than 3, ignoring the signs. Therefore, 4 gets to decide what the sign of the answer is. 4 is more positive. The answer is going to be positive. Okay, let's look at another example. 2 plus a -5. So let's go out 2 to the 2 on the positive direction, and then we're going to go back 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that means we're going to end up at negative 3. How do we do that? The signs are different. 2 from 5 gives me 3. In this case, we want to keep the sign of the larger number. The 5 is stronger than the 2. It's more negative than the 2 is positive, so we want to keep the sign of the 5, so my answer is going to be negative. Okay, let's do some other examples here. Negative 8 plus 6. The signs are different, so we will subtract. Keep the sign of the stronger number. 8's more negative than 6 is positive, so the answer's negative 2. Negative 10 plus 18. The signs are different, so you subtract. 10 from 18 is 8. Keep the sign of the number that's stronger, which means it's 18, so it's a positive 8. 9 plus a negative 3. The signs are different. Subtract the numbers. Keep the sign of the stronger number. Negative 4 plus a negative 5. The signs are the same. Add the numbers. Keep the sign of the stronger number. Signs are the same. Add. Keep the sign of the stronger number. Signs are different. Subtract and keep the sign of the stronger number. I hope this helps in the addition of positive and negative numbers. To keep these podcasts short, I'm only going to do addition in this podcast. If you're struggling with all your integers, immediately go and watch the subtraction of negative numbers, which will pick up right where we've left off here and talk about how to do your subtraction. Thanks for watching.